Baseball's an odd game. You score 10 runs in the ninth in Fargo and then score 3 runs in total in a series.
Yeah, we exceeded our quota for base hits or 2-out hits with men in scoring position. We were 0 for 3 games with men in scoring position in this series. And if you can't produce offense, it's tough to win in any game. Three runs in 3 games is just obviously not enough. And Sioux City pitched great again today. I mean, I haven't seen a team dominate the down and away pitch and execute consistently. And I'm not talking about one pitch. It's 2 or 3 pitches per at bat. And we're not getting great swings off them. And when we do hit it hard, it seems to be right at somebody. Just one of those deals.
A team comes in that's 20-30, and you see pitching like that. It's got to surprise you, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. I mean, sometimes Sioux City's a tough park to pitch in, and it can be tough to defend. It gets real hard and fast, and you don't always get rewarded with ground ball outs when you induce a lot of ground balls. So it can be a little misleading. And their pitching really didn't surprise me because we saw them earlier in the season when they beat us in a series earlier here, and they pitched it really well then. It's just they got some really quality arms, and they're certainly getting a lot of 2-out hits or driving some runs in with men in scoring position. So if they can keep this up, they'll get themselves right back into it, that's for sure.
You can't be disappointed with your own pitching tonight. Nick settled down, did a great job, and your bullpen was fine.
Yeah, a little deflating if you give up a couple runs in the first, and that's going to be basically the end of your night. But you know, anytime your guy gets you into the 8th inning, you got to think he was pretty good, and he certainly was. I mean, he showed more pitchability today than when he was actually throwing the ball really well early in the season. You could tell he looked a little bit uncomfortable early in the game, but made some adjustments, stayed within himself, and made pitches when he needed to, and I thought he did a great job.
Gary coming into town, what are your thoughts about that series?
It's going to be tough. Gary's got a good team. From a pitching standpoint, they're not going to overpower you with any kind of arm speed or velocity. They just do a real good job of locating down and away. They like to add and subtract and spin some breaking balls up there. And when you're pitching to Gary, you got to kind of change the way you defend the field a little bit. For most of the hitters, you got to shorten it up just a little. Your outfield defense generally has to play usually 5 steps a little closer than they normally do. They got some guys, don't get me wrong, Pulfer and Maddox, some of those guys can hit it over your head if you make some bad pitches. But for the most part, you got to shorten up your outfield defense. And sometimes your infield, you have to play a step shorter because they'll spray the ball around the field. The biggest thing when you're playing Gary is just not make any mistakes on defense and not allow any free passes by, hit by pitch or base on balls, because that's when they get pretty opportunistic, and then they can bring their running game. So if you're going to beat Gary, you got to get on them early, because they seem to be the type of team in years past. Now, mind you, I haven't seen them yet this year, but I've heard it looks a lot similar to what it's looked like in years past. And they like to play pretty even, through 3 quarters of the game, and then they wait for you to make a mistake and they pounce on you.
Good luck this weekend.
Thanks.